Happy Sunday, everyone! Welcome to Beyond Film School, where I teach you all about the film industry. Now, today is very, very special because today we are revealing the teams for this year's Film Challenge. Now, if you want to know what the Film Challenge is all about, I'm going to tell you, it is the second year that it is happening. Proud is just a very, I feel like maybe a little generic, maybe a little cliche, but I am very proud that I finally am able to do the film challenge that I always wanted to create. But either way, let me tell you about the film challenge in case those who are not part of Beyond Film School Alumni, in case they don't know what the film challenge is. But second year, it's the second year. It's basically we're making a short film in 2 weeks. We're writing, shooting, editing a movie in 2 weeks with no money. So there are a lot of rules in this film challenge to try and even the playing field because, someone might be connected to a trust fund baby or something. I have no idea. But they are basically writing a micro short, like under 7 minutes of running time. They have to write, shoot, edit a movie in 2 weeks with no exchange money. That means they can't spend any money on equipment. They can't spend any money on crew. They basically have to make this movie with their own resources that they already have among their team. So today's a really, really exciting day because people find out what position, what role they're going to fill: director, writer, producer, editor, and they're going to find out what team they get to work with and their team leaders. They're going to be Team Rob, Team Jason, Team Alexis, Team Holly. We have 4 teams again. I'm very, very proud to say that I was able to do 4 teams again this year, and I'm very, very excited I'm hoping that everyone is happy with their positions, and I pretty much gave everyone, I didn't give anyone something that they didn't want, basically. There are a couple that are surprising, and I know that they're going to be like, what? There's some people are going to be definitely they're going to be like, okay, well, if Amber thinks I can do it, I'm going to do it. And I know they're going to step up to the challenge, so I'm very excited to announce the team. So if you are with the teams, please let me know if you are here, Team Rob, if you are team leader, if you are with Beyond Film School, your alumni, let me know. If you are watching, please let me know. All right, so first I'm gonna start with Team Rob because he is a returning team leader. So Team Rob, the people who are going to be with Team Rob, we have Devana, who is our producer / AD, which I know she's gonna kill it in this position. I have Paige, who is the writer / art. Now, there are some very, very funky combinations this year, and it's kind of interesting that I don't really have the same combinations as I had last year. So Paige, she has her work cut out for her with the, writer / art, kind of like she's going to be the art director. So hey, Vanessa, hey, Tap. So Devana, we have producer AD is also a very, very challenging position to be in. So not to say that these combos on this team is very, very hard. So most of the teams have 4 people. Okay, so Devon, you have your work cut out for you. Hey, Nick, how's it going? Okay, so Paige is going to be the writer and art director. Now, Rue is a returning Beyond Film School Short Film Challenge participant. She was a producer last year. So the fact that she is a director DP, I cannot wait to see what she comes up with. She has a lot of genie experience, and I think that this dual rover is gonna be so good. I can't wait to see what she comes up with. I'm really excited to see what all these people come up with. And then I have Jeffrey, who is our script supervisor / editor. Now, last year I had script supervisor / writer in there. They were writers / script supervisors, but I did not have that combo this time. And it was kind of hard to put the teams together because here's the thing, is that you may have people that were in your class, or you may have seen them at a mixer or seen them participate on the private group in Facebook. So I tried to make sure that you didn't know your team leader, first of all, which is kind of hard because Rob is returning. So he doesn't have anyone from his last year's team. So Rob, I'm sorry. I know you loved your team last year, but you cannot have the same people because Bianca and Zach were also returning participants from last year as well in this year's challenge. And you'll see what team they're going to be on this year. So Devana, Paige, Rue, and Jeff, you are going to be with Team Rob, and I know that you are going to have such a great experience with Rob. He is such a great team leader. He did such a great job last year. And Jeffrey, I think the fact that the script supervisor / editor is combined, it's almost like like you're writing notes for yourself when you're editing. It's gonna be a really good combination. I thought that was a combination that made sense. So go Team Rob. I'm very, very excited. Ivana, yes, I'm ready to see Ivana go after it. I can't wait to see what she's gonna go after it. She's gonna be like, let's go. All right, on to Team Alexis. So Team Alexis. So I love Alexa. She's a writer-director, and she was very enthusiastic about this challenge. And I really was like, I need to have her a part of this challenge. I've watched her short films. She just like, the art is within her, and I love it. So I think that the team that I gave Team Alexis, I'm very, very excited to see how they work with each other. They all have kind of like a similar vibe, but I'm thinking like Michael being the producer, gonna kill it, okay? We have Terrence Smith, who's gonna be the writer also / art director as well. So I think that, I don't know, I feel like, okay, director DP is a really hard combination, okay? Don't get me wrong. It's a very, very hard combination, but I think the writer / art director, that's a very, very challenging, and I think they really, I'm almost a little worried. I've kind of pushed the boundary. So Terrence and Paige have their work cut out for them, like, a lot. Okay, so Bianca, I'm very, very happy to announce she is going to be directing this year. Last year she was an AD. She directed for, I think, a short film, I think about 10 years ago, and she hasn't done it since, so I'm very excited to see what she comes up with, and I know that she's going to have the creative juices flowing. Bianca, I'm I've seen, just for me, it's a little bit closer for some of the participants because I've been in contact with them since they did their set PA class, right? And I feel like Bianca's definitely had a wild ride. She's done reality TV. She did a commercial with me. You know, she's been on FBI. She was an AD for the very first time for a short film in the last film challenge. She wants to be an AD, but I love how, even though you want to go the logistical route, it's like, I love how everyone who is like a producer or an AD, like they can sometimes tap into the creative side, because it's like, you know, as human beings, we're all creative. Okay, I'm here for it. So I can't wait to see what Bianca does in this position. Okay, so we have Amanda Zotto. So Amanda Zotto, shout out to her, because she is like, when I talk about growth, I feel like if I were to give out a most improved player, Amanda would win this award. Okay, she's a channel member, but also she's a Beyond Film School alumni with the online class, and I worked with her on the morning show 2 years ago, and she has come such a long way. She is a perfect example of like, if you follow directions, you're gonna succeed, and she has followed a lot of my advice like to the T, you know, and she even also, like, not to regurgitate the information, but she also helps others, and she's like, hey, Amber told me this, I've been doing this, I succeeded, so do this too. So I just love how she like passes on, she pays it forward, and I love it. So I cannot wait to see Amanda in this role, because to win the best AD role, yes, there is an award for the best AD. Okay, if you guys, I haven't really talked about awards, I'll talk about them more at the launch. That is August 9th. But I have the best AD award because ADs get like no love, guys. I love being assistant director, and I feel like the mental gymnastics you have to do as an AD is crazy, okay? And I feel like we get it done, we get it going, we bring all the pieces together just so the vision can get to the final project, right? Like we get it together, and that final thing is there, and it's like, we have this thing, we made it happen. So I feel like when I get to watch each AD on set, that's kind of the thing. They have to submit their call sheets. I have to see how they work out, how they communicate. So I'm like, you know what? This person deserves the best AD. Like, you know, were they good communicators? Did they stay calm? How do they deal with problem solving? And also, I'm a real big fan of nice looking call sheets. So the bar is really, really high for best AD, but I feel like she's going to be top notch here. So Amanda is going to be in the assistant director role. And then I have Nick, who is DP editor, which I feel like is a really great combo, because as you're shooting it, you're thinking of like how you're going to edit it. And it's only going to help Bianca come out with like such a great final short film. So I think this team is great. And also, this team is the only team with 5 people. All the other teams have 4 people. This is the only team with 5 people, and that can either be a pro or a con, because Rob last year had only 3 people, and they had all dual roles. All of them had 2 things they had to do and to take care of, and their team did really, really well for just having 3 people and having to organize and get all the stuff they needed to do and get together to make their short film happen. So you have 5 people, so it could be a pro, could be a con, I don't know. But let's go Team Alexis. All right, so next we're on to Team Jason. Now, Jillian is an online set PA course, so she didn't do the in-person, she did the online, and I think, like, not to, like, talk about Jillian, like, blow up her spot, but I think she honestly was like, I want to be a part of this challenge, so the easiest way to be a part of this challenge, if you haven't taken my in-person, is to take the online course, do it really quick, complete it. I mean, you'd probably take like maybe like 6 to 8 hours to do it, and then you can just be part of the challenge. It's like, this is free for participants, and I like really, really try and stress that so much, but like, I feel like she saw the challenge, and she may have not, I have no idea. Maybe she did it, the course, and then she's like, oh shit, there's a film challenge, I'm gonna do it. So either way, but it looked like she purposely did the online course to be in the challenge. So I know that she has the initiative, and based on the things that she's told me about herself and her application process, like, she is gonna be really, really good in this role for producer, writer. She is, so just, I saw the challenge and I'm up for it, yes. So I can't wait to see and get to know Jillian, because I don't really know her person to person, so I cannot wait to see what she comes up with and like get to know her a little bit better. So Dwight, is going to be directing Dwight Williams. Now, Dwight, I love his story. I loved how he brought that maturity into the set PA class. He's got a lot of different experience, but he's not, he's got that editor experience. So I was like, you know what, let's see what he comes up with. But for whatever reason, like because I'm going to be honest, before I put the applications out, I was like, all right, can I pull this together? Am I going to get enough participants? Like, I don't know. And then I started to get people applying, more and more people, like one by one, they trickle in. Everyone applies at the end. Like, I had like 7 people apply on the last day. Like, you guys make me nervous. Okay, you guys are like trying to give me a heart attack. Like, really, like, everyone applying at the last minute, I was like, oh my God, this is going to fall apart. But you guys came through for me. Thank God. But when he put his application in, it's just like what he said about directing. I was like, all right, I gotta see it. I gotta see what he comes up with. It was just like, I felt it, you know, like I really was like, I want to see, you know? So Dwight, I'm really looking forward to what you come up with, your vision and how you do on set. Vanessa, my homegirl Vanessa, I've worked with her for such a long time now. She did my last class where it was one day. Once upon a time, I did a 1-day, 8-hour class. I jam-packed everything into one day. I don't even know how I did it back then. Oh my goodness. But she was there for the last class. It was Valentine's Day, actually. And we've been friends ever since. But she really goes after it, and I know she has like that. She doesn't give up. She has that persistence, and I love that. I mean, her energy, first of all. You guys are going to have a great, this team right here, I feel like it's going to have a lot of great energy. So I'm really, really looking forward to what they come up with. And last but not least, Tab. So Tab is our script supervisor / editor. Now, here's the thing, is I was really torn. You were like, ugh, didn't have that many directors at first, and then everyone started to put their hat into the ring to be a director, and I was like really, really torn. I was like, I really want Tab to be a director, I really want Dwight to be a director, but I didn't have 5 teams. I was almost like, let me try and get another team leader, because I almost was thinking about myself, if I couldn't get another team leader, because it was really hard this year with like a death in the family and stuff, trying to figure out how to make this film challenge happen. There's a lot of prep involved and a lot of phone calls and lunches and all this stuff to kind of make sure that people understand what the film challenge is. Because when I tell them what the film challenge is and I'm like, there's no money, we got to figure out resources, and people kind of look at me like deer in headlights, like, this is really ambitious. So I have to kind of be like a salesman to get people, first of all, to apply, and then be team leaders and all that, and actually commit the time. But I really wanted Tab to be a director, but I thought the second best thing to do was for him to be attached to the storytelling is to be the editor, right? And I feel like with Dwight and then with Tap, the editor, kind of like side by side, like, collaborating the two of them, I thought it would be a really good combination. So I hope it is, and I think it is. I think just knowing Tap and knowing Dwight, I'm like, these two are really gonna, I think they're really gonna hit it off. I think it's really gonna work out. So I'm very, very excited to see what Team Jason does. Whew, man, okay, last team. So the last team, I think, I don't know if Donna is watching. I hope Donna is watching, okay? Because Donna's going to be, completely shocked. This was not on. So Team Holly. Team Holly's great. Team Holly is not messing around, first of all, okay? So she used to be a Marine. She is not messing around. She is punctual. She is going after it. She is ready. And she has done a lot of film challenges. So she knows how to work under the wire. So this team is going to be like, there's going to be some structure. And I feel like there are, I think Zach and Jameson are very, very creative and a little bit laid back. And I think with Team Holly, she gives the structure. And I think with Chris being the AD, it's just going to like come together really, really nicely. Oh my goodness. Yes, Donna, see, I knew it. So Donna was like, what? So, okay, so Donna's application, like she took my class. She's like she's like changing careers, and she had never really been on set before. But with her event coordination, she, like, from what I understand, is like you have a background in like coordinating events, right? So I think coordination is basically producing. And she applied to be a set PA or whatever position she thought that, you know, she could do. And I was like, this is going to work out. I think with your background and the structure that Holly's going to give and her experience in producing, because she's got an MFA in producing, and I think that you guys are going to work really well together. She's going to give you like that film structure that you need, and she's going to give you the insights of the film challenges that she's done for, like, and taking your coordination experience. I think this is going to work out really, really well. And plus also remember that you guys all have the mandatory trainings that you have to do with me. That's like an hour. I'll give you a run through of like what's expected of you, what your responsibilities are. So while you have zero experience in producing, I really, really feel like you will kill it. Donna, I'm really looking forward to it, because you're like, wow, I can't believe I did this. After the challenge is done and we go to that screening and you see your short film and it's done, you're like, holy shit, I produced a short film. And I'm like getting chills thinking about it, because I'm like, you are really gonna be like, wow, I did that shit. So I am very, very excited for Donna. So Zach is gonna be his first time writing a short film. He was a DP last year, and he was on Team Rob, and sadly I can't give Zach to Team Rob again, because it's all about like new people, new teams, and I like networking and expanding circles and all that stuff. So Zach, I hope you have fun writing. And then Jameson. Now, Jameson's super creative. I love his ideas, and he always surprises me. Anything he does, anything I give Jameson, it's always a surprise. And I love the fact that he always exceeds my expectations. He's always got new ideas, and he works well with people. He's I feel like communication is a little quiet, but things get done. And it's like, I love his style of working. It's like, because I remember seeing him work. He was on Team Darren last year. And he was a DP, and then Tabitha was a director, and they actually won Best Film. But the way they communicated together and the way they worked together, and it just he also edited that short film. So, and I know he wanted like he was interested. Like, this is the thing, is he pushes the boundaries of certain things, and I really respect that, because in his application, while you have to fill out like what position because I give you an option of like 3 positions you want. Like your top one is like producer, director, art director, whatever it is, and the second one is like the same options. His first was, I think, I probably should pull up his application, but like I think it was like director DP. And then the next one was DP editor. And I forget what the other one was, but it was like he gave combos. Like he was like, you know what? My preferred thing is this. And like, you know, and I think that he, you know, you got to shoot your shot, and he did exactly that. And I was like, no, I would love to see what he comes up with. So I think this team does not have an editor. So I think that he might actually be like, I'm going to edit it too, in which you could do that. Your team can decide how to fill in the gaps, right? So just keep that in mind. Let's see, like, back to Team Rob really quick. Like, we have an editor there. We have the director there. So this is kind of like a full team, you know what I mean? And then Alexis also has an editor. So there are some gaps here. Not like some, there are not going to be, let's see, we have some art directors kind of not present here. So that's another thing that we have to think about. So there are some combinations that, you know, that are not there, but just so you know, for the film challenge, so the teams are aware, like whatever gap is there, you fill it with people around you who want to fill those roles. Like if you don't have a script supervisor, which this team does not, Team Holly does not have a script supervisor. So you can, hey, your friend wants to and is interested in, and there might be another Beyond Film School alumni that wants to be a script supervisor, and be like, hey, you want to be a script supervisor on our team, which you can totally do that. So think about the positions you need to fill. Still think about like the locations you have. Think about all the resources that you need that you can pool together. And you guys will also get an email after this live stream is done. So everyone on your team, you'll get an email from me with everyone's email on it and all the resources that they put on their application. So no one can be like BSing. And if anyone's BSing, you let me know. Can be like, yo, don't lie on your application about the resources you can bring, just so I like, because the thing is that I try to even things out. I try to even things out as much as I can to make sure that like not all one team has all the resources, or like all one team like has a bunch of people who know all the cast, and then there's more people who have more equipment, and there's other people who have like more locations. So I try to make sure that one, they didn't really work with this person before and they didn't have him in their class, right? And another thing was to make sure that all the resources weren't on one team. So it was kind of, it was a bit, hard to put the teams together. So I'm going to go to the chat really quick because Nick has a question. I'm confused. So like a BFS alumni that hasn't applied to the film challenge can fill a gap, or those of us on different teams can fill in those. Okay, so you can't help each other's teams. Okay, I mean, you can, but okay, so here's the thing, is that I actually had Brianna from last year. She is a Beyond Film School alumni. She did not apply because she missed the application process. But when she saw the post in the private Facebook group, she was like, she was a set PA on one team, and then she was a script supervisor on another. So an alumni who did not apply can still fill those gaps, because you have to hire a crew at this point. Like, right, you have to bring people on to fill in those gaps. So it can be an alumni. So it's not really like, say, Nick, I think maybe an example is like, since you're a DP editor, you might be done editing your film. That doesn't mean you go and help another team be an editor, right? I think that might be a little bit overload. Does that make sense? I'm hoping that makes sense. So alumni who didn't apply, they can be on any team they want if they're available. Because a part of the reason why some people don't apply is because they might think about the time commitment. They don't want to do the mandatory training, or they don't know their schedule, right? So the shooting weekend is from the 15th to the 17th, and they don't know if they're available, right? But then some might be, once they're like, a team is shooting on the 13th, or the team is shooting on the 16th or something. So they're like, okay, we need PAs on the 16th. And they're like, okay, great. So I think sometimes people they don't apply because some people don't want to fill out the application process. So that could be a reason. But the other people are like, it's just easier to just wait to see what's available. But I mean, what I will say is that I'm very, very proud of everyone who did apply, because the application process is not that it's hard, but it's like you really have to be like, why do I want to be this position? Like, and you're putting yourself out there, and there's a chance of rejection, right? You might want to, your number one spot might have been producer, and then I put you as a writer or something, and you're like, I didn't really want to do that. But like, I mean, I give you a lot of options. I'm hoping that everyone's happy with their role. I'm really, really hoping that you guys are. Let me know if you're happy with your role, please, Jesus. If you're here watching still, just let me know if you're happy with the position you got. And I think that, like, it takes a lot of, first of all, the application I know it says like 6 to 10 minutes, but also like just thinking about your answers, like why you want to be in that role, how much can you help your team in this role? It's a lot to think about. So it's like there's more thinking than there is really like filling the application out. And plus, I know that some people were stressing about the 1-minute video that they had to do, so that the whole thing like talking about themselves or whatever. And everyone always does a 1-minute video very different. Like some people do like an edited thing. Some people like just do like a walk and talk. Some people just like set the camera up like, yo, this is me. This is the person I am. And the other people are like, they were like, hey, I want to be the producer because of this XYZ. Okay, hello, Ruben. I don't want to like not say hi to you. You said hi like 10, 15 minutes ago, but I want to make sure I acknowledge. So that is it for the team. The couple things I want you to remember is that from this point, when you get your email with your teammates on it, it's like, this is the time to get together for your resources, okay? Your team leader will be on that email. This is the time to make sure, do you have cast? Do you have locations? What equipment do you have? What do you want to use? Where do you want to shoot? When do you want to shoot? That's another thing. It's like, if you guys are all available on the 15th, make your shooting day the 15th, right? And then once you have that date locked, then you can bring on other people to be your crew. Because it's like, either they can or they can't, right? So it's just stay away from like, well, we might shoot on this day or we might shoot on that day. That's not going to work in the film world. Either it's you can or you can't. And if they can't do it and you're like, I really want you to work on it, well then you have to draw the line somewhere. Yeah, Rob. Go Team Rob. So remember, from this point forward to the launch on Friday, August 9th at 3 p.m., we will launch. At the launch, I'll backtrack here. So between now and the launch, resources. I want you guys to gather your resources, put your locations together. What do you want to write? Now, at the challenge, you will figure out the theme. You'll figure out the elements that you need in your story, okay? So you can't, and you figure out your genre. So you'll get those 3 things on the launch, okay? Theme, genre, elements that are needed and required in your short film. Now, no one is allowed to pre-write, okay? No one's like, okay, let's write something and then fill in the gaps, because I'm gonna know if it's janky, okay? And we'll know if there's a flow. And I'm expecting all the writers to be very honest about this. I have 4 writers, right? Yeah, all 4 writer slots are filled, so I don't want anyone cheating and thinking that they can recycle scripts, okay? Because if it doesn't fit the theme, then I'm gonna know. It's going to be like, this is off, okay? And at the screening, you will be judged. There are 3 judges there. They will be judging based on theme. Like, was this, first of all, were the elements in there? Was it a true, like, because if you write like a rom-com and then I have a horror as your genre, it's not really going to fit, right? So I'm going to know if people didn't follow the rules here, okay? So, and I don't want to disqualify people from awards. Like, who wants to do that? So just make sure you're, like, in the bounds of that. So, okay, again, resources, guys, right? We're going to have to make sure you write with what you have already, okay? Because I know this is literally the hardest part of this whole challenge, is reeling in the reality. And I know Vanessa has already been like, she's already on top of it. She's already thinking about like what she can say to her team already and be like, we have to make sure we reel this in, because this is the problem with creativity meeting the practicality of what you already have, right? Like when those 2 worlds collide, you're going to find out what you can really do. So this is why I have every team, you have to write within their means. You must write within your means, or this is not going to work, right? So you can't like write some crazy 350 people like protest scene if you don't have access to 350 people. And I don't think you do, unless you're like somehow working for Central Casting with a lot of non-union background. Plus you can't pay these people, right? So it's not possible for you to write that scene because you don't have it already. Okay, unless you're like somehow a famous YouTuber that I don't know about, and like, I don't know, because that one guy in Times Square did it. So, but I'm just saying, make sure you write within your means. Good luck, everyone. I will be emailing you soon. Go Team Rob, go Team Alexis, Team Holly, and Team Jason. I'm so excited for this to start. Thank you guys for joining me, and stay tuned for the launch on Friday. I shall see you next time.